Welcome to We Have a Situation Coventry. And thank you for coming. We have a performance here today that will also lead into a discussion. If you could please turn off your phones as we're using the Wi-Fi. And we're also streaming live onto the internet and video recording. So by being in this space, you are consenting to being filmed. And we cannot avoid filming particular people in the audience. This project is about using Cyberformance to create a connection between our audience here to our audience online, and to provoke a discussion about how we create and take care of our community in Coventry. There will also be drinks at the bar, if you could wait to the intermission to collect your drinks. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show.
My city, an overview. They say this place has graduated to student city, but it went grey a long time ago. Doesn't look too young, doesn't look too smart. Some bits are overgrown with graffiti. Illiterate grains of knowledge sprout up in the unlevel playing field. The roots of destruction are tangled up in policy. I guess you could call it wild, but the native party animals like to get trashed and smash glass. So the students emigrate nightly for alternative scenes and DJs in 10-minute train ride away towns. They build Coventry up as a city rumbling with hunger for success, but the tower blocks congeal into plasterboard porridge. Washed out and worn is not a fashionable statement. Our architecture dazzles visitors with its dullness, but it beats being homeless. The homeward bound have misplaced their grateful smiles, stranded here like castaways who've given up on the lifeboat. Tourists are dragged in to record what's destroyed. Ruin, more interesting than rebirth. All eyes on the naked lady. Our history stripped bare of everything but voyeurism and taxes. This city is the cluttered floors surrounding public bins, the paradoxes who drop simultaneous litter and slurs. This place is a shithole, like drones that target home. The barista who hands you a tall when you paid for a small. She said you look tired. The homeless guy and his dog who hope their coats are buffer enough from death's cold groping hands tonight. The kids dreaming great escapes, the kids who know they're stuck here for life. The high-rise blocks of disadvantage points that people who can afford big plans want pulled down. Paramedics carrying off the weekend wastage. Street sweepers clearing away the evidence. This city murmurs and tuts and shouts in the streets over the heads of pushchair prisoners. It begs persistently for change outside Spa, the one that used to be Yates's wine bar. Whispers, we were once a community in the war. Forgetting that there's always a war, always the clash of regimes, colours, opinions, bus doors. This city's multicultural soundtrack is a chorus of warbling humanity. It can be bewildering, like the first day of school when everyone's still testing out the dynamics. Sometimes it gets you in the guts, like a rampaging bully. Sometimes it unravels your heartstrings and launches you like a kite.
I'll put it down there.
Elaine said ghost towns. Chris said stories.
This tale's about ideas and threads being spun, getting woven into stories of the situation, a tale that entwines and to the city binds one. Our journeys, like many, in 3 parts unfold, brings us to here and now, through war, from days of old. Not quite history, but listen yet to what I have told. So from the first, a medieval centre of faith, our gilded community we know, to the sacred pageants and mystery plays its pilgrims bow. With wool, cotton, blue silk, our centre's import does grow. War work directs, targets England's industrial middle. One night, 1940, explosives concentrated, lives Coventrated. 1,250 are gone, yet bombed, burned, our city lives on, working for a future still to be won. With baby boomers, Gibson's plan and prefabs, a phoenix is born. Industry, fabrication and purpose are respun. Foundations of learning, new shrines and homes set in concrete. A city that wouldn't die, looks to the present and you in the eye. So on screen, in theatre, street, home and dorm we call learner, resident, friend, artist, activator and all, to think, ask, untangle, perform, watch and voice. This situation with its knots and new ties to explore.
No direction? No problem. No certificates needed? No acceptance criteria. No credentials? Evaluation's just a phone call away. Whatever you need, will provide, along with false ratings and lies, along with a jingle straight to your head, so you won't consider other options instead. It'll just be like home, green and cozy and modern, but in no way pretentious. A city on the rise. Rise, rise, and hail and combust into flames of potential. A host for all the new greats. A town just for you, welcoming, nourishing, right. In the heart of the land, enchanting, year round.
Oh, it's the heart, all right. Of conflict, of merging, always pulsing and rushing to meet its own end and beginning. Because renewal means winning despite lost integrity, despite austerity permeating the greying ground. And while our uni might not be the best, you'd still do alright to invest in your future here, because the rest of your options, be honest, confess, would never be fairly assessed, regardless of merits and of hard-earned scores.
It's all about bigoted dreams of superior doors, always open to foreign applause. No matter how faint or how fake, their value surely overtakes anything you could ever achieve with a local course wholly aggrieved. For no man is a prophet in his own country, not if he's young, not if it's young. Sure, it might feel like you haven't got much. Save the rubbish, Godiva, and bus stops on every corner, without any buses to adhere to the order. But there's history, and so many quirks. Locals, eager to showcase the perks. There is culture, and though one might argue that diversity is not seen with value, there is no doubt you have it well. So enjoy your affairs for a spell.
My experience is that they like to feel that they belong here. I think they're actually a long way away from home. They really want people to be friendly with them. So I think it depends on where they're living at the moment as to how they're accepted.
I think as a student it's difficult to feel at home initially in the city that you're in, because it's all new to you usually. And you've got your mind on other issues. Yeah.
Well, unless coincidentally they live in Coventry, I don't think they would feel themselves to be residents of Coventry, and I base that on my experience as an undergraduate. I didn't feel that I belonged where I did my degree, and I doubt any other student would really.
No, I don't think so either. I just think they want to come here, do their courses, and not know as quickly as possible, really.
I'm not sure because there's not got any contact with many students. I'm not quite sure. I think some do like to make this their fancy home.
There are a lot of problems and a lot of conflict actually in certain areas. So all I can say from my point of view is that they are moving in the right direction.
So we actually, the students and the citizens of Coventry, talk to each other. And I also think the other way round needs to happen as well, that residents of Coventry shouldn't assume that students are them over there and they're going to behave in a particular way. And again, I think the city maybe could organise
of 23.
for the reverse to happen.
Sub number 2. You look like you've lost weed. I have been trying out that new fag. That new app. That tells students when to take me out. The wheelie app diet. That's the wild new phrase I heard. What's that across the street? A garage sale. More like garbage sale. Tragic. One at a time, please. I feel a bit down in the dumps. Yeah, your insides are rumbling. It's just the cat. Well, we are what we eat. I feel sorry for Jerry. He keeps getting trashed just for kicks.
Hey, I'm Jerry.
Do you want to hear a pickup line?
Thought I'd drop by.
Did you hear how the last Irish ever died?
I got trashed last night.
He wasted away.
I was born May 1997, Thomas Ellis Lawler. My first name because of Thomas Tank Engine. The surname was hereditary, and Ellis after Ellis Road, Radford. On September 2016, I became student number 267479, inducted and enrolled at the bottom of a long list shipped into Coventry University. I've always called myself a Coventry boy, and that's never changed. My dad used to tell me about a phenomenon called the Coventry Walk, that he described as a cross between John Wayne and the aftermath of a Friday night down your local. I never had the Coventry Walk, but I've always been obsessed with the idea that someone can see or know where you come from just looking at you. Am I less of a student when I'm just a Coventry boy? You can't define Coventry with an accent, a sense of place. We build things up and tear them down and down and down and down. Coventry is part of my name, it's part of who I am. Am I any more or less of a Coventry boy now that I'm part of the machine tearing it down?
This is The Southerner and the Phoenix. I stare at you, the phoenix that rose out the ashes of World War II, yet I don't see the life that should be. There is just grey and concrete. You have life, but not as I know it. Your university has commodified this notion of ashes and reincarnation, replacing this story brick by brick in this arena of a ring road clock face. The local residents are neglected in the eyes of this concrete phoenix. Your feathers dirtied and tarred, roads and lack of colour. What might have been bright red has drained of fiery liquid, leaving the dull overcast of politics and academics that ride in on a ship stuck next to a prison-shaped library. My old teacher, who's Welsh, told me you were beautiful, and I believe that. It's just not in the way I expected. You're a phoenix, yet you remain the colour of ashes.
I don't know anything about what goes on
In an ideal world, it would be kind of running by situations, trying to be in at the
I exist in three spaces: the resident, the student, and the teacher. Through muffled sounds and clenched fists, I'm ashamed to say I've spun all of the rhetoric. Dear child of Coventry, did your broken bones and misplaced heart ever imagine the road would tilt towards this destination? The anarchists silenced, and tattooed flesh directed towards more formal dress sense. They tore down my church to build a corporate office block, and my baptism in blood and broken bones was pointless because venues like the jailhouse never stood a chance. But when you build your empire on top of a graveyard, you are not considering the mourners. And their voices are loud, but irrelevant, because who gives a fuck about some local punk band? Dear student, when that border was crossed and the expansion of mind embraced, was it okay to forget your roots? This city is mine. but at the risk of being a traitor, I'd rather throw my lot in with the familiar. So I wasted 3 years not making friends, because the ones I already had were supposed to be enough. But I isolated myself. I became a fractured presence, and in the company of fellows, I was an outsider spying. All creative endeavours became numbers, subjective opinions forming my future, like oxblood red shadows dancing on the horizon, their sinister advancement a harsh reminder that to be a good writer, you must submit to an ideal, manufactured and assembled by monkeys that have already failed. We're not supposed to expand beyond the borders of our little island because electronic checkpoints guard every door. Come in, you are welcome. Come in, you are welcome. Welcome, please do not come in. Your card, a neon that is visible in the dark. Attracting requests for 20p because he needs to get the bus. And campus security to keep those monsters at bay because God forbid you are introduced to Coventry's homeless. So we build a castle pristine amongst the muck and the grime, a pedestal from which we can subvert class and social identity. But my people only see a kingdom closed off. My neighbours are veiled in confused and angry discourse. Dear teacher, when did the inspired become a source for inspiration? Was it a slow change? Or were you quick to adapt to these surroundings? An insider's perspective on a ghost town that an institution helped to populate. And the only thanks comes in the form of comparisons to an invading entity. But I remember these once empty streets, whose citizens would hop trains to Birmingham in search of interest. Now we're building up areas that were once left to disrepair. So when newcomers exit our station, they want to remain here. Sometimes the battle is introspective. I hear echoes of other voices bouncing off of structured canvases. And the three personas that share the space within my flesh walls are reminders of how proud I am to still be in this town.
Intermission now before we move into... Can you say it again so that I can hear it? We're going to take a short intermission now before we move into the second part of the evening, which is a discussion that we invite you to all participate with us, thinking about some of the themes that have been generated by tonight's performance, which has been produced as a provocation to get us all to be talking together about what is this community we live in and what is this relationship between, particularly thinking about the university and the city. My name is Rochelle. I teach at Coventry University, and I have a real pleasure tonight to be able to particularly thank all of these people who participated, but Helen Varley Jamieson here, who is our first Faculty of Arts and Humanities International Artist in Residence. Helen has been working with a group of our students and members of the community, sponsored by the Faculty of Arts and Humanities and the Disruptive Media Learning Lab at the university. And this is the first time that we've been able to do this kind of project and bring together students from the 3 different schools within the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, of Humanities, Art and Design, and Media and Performing Arts. So it's been a really wonderful 7 days, which we produced this right from absolute zero to what you've experienced tonight. So we hope that this has been an interesting provocation. Please do have a drink. We'll put on the lights, we'll rearrange the chairs, and we'll also have a film by Alan whilst we have our intermission. So more in a few minutes.